there's a tiredness and a sense of not having the strength to care. And that's been with us for quite some while, actually. It's when you've been trying for a long time to change something that is wrong, right? Or hurtful, or might damage things and damage people, but you're not being listened to. In the end, the only thing you can do is to withdraw and not connect anymore. So it's this lack of connection with the people in the situation that you are that is feeling so, it's bringing this feeling of sadness and this deep, deep, deep lack of community, feeling of community. So let's see what the I Ching has got to add to this. So this is the 20th of May 2026. My name is Hannah and I'm happy to have you here. So as usual, we are starting by rooting down into the present moment, leaving the past in the past and the future in the future. So you're breathing in and out through your nose. Feeling the air traveling through your nostrils all the way down into the bottom of the lungs. Stomach expanding as you breathe in and contracting as you breathe out. And it's the diaphragm and many of the other muscles you've got in your chest area and your waist area and all around stomach area is helping to pull this air in through the lungs. So there's no shallow breathing, but there is no force either. So it's normal, it's relaxed, but deep and rejuvenating, bringing peace to your whole body, helping you tap into the parasympathetic nervous system, this parasympathetic state. And this is the state of meditation and rest and rejuvenation. So you stay with your breath and I will draw the hexagram. So how are the energies around us today and how do we best navigate them in order to have the most smooth and joyous day forward? This paints a very clear picture and is telling us that we are on the home stretch now. So do not despair. It is all happening now, okay? So we have number 4, encountering with the future potential of 33, retreat, 50, establishing the new, 56, traveling, and the underlying energy of initiating. Encountering is speaking about meeting people, but it's actually, it's got a deeper meaning than that as well. Encountering people or a situation is actually speaking about being in a situation where that is has not been very good, okay? although we we are withdrawing and we are clearing out this, there are still some negative influences within this situation, within this group of people. The toxicity or the toxic element of this situation are still there, so we must remain vigilant. But this is what we are feeling, and this is what we're already doing. We're already withdrawing. So this feeling of not being able to connect fully in this situation is a way to protect ourselves, and it's not necessarily negative. It is actually your intuition that is speaking very clearly to you and saying this is not a situation you want to get involved with. So withdrawing is good, and feeling disconnected is actually good, because you do not want to be connected to this kind of energy, okay, or this kind of situation. With the future potential we have here is 33 retreat, 50 establishing the new, and 56 traveling. And retreat, we're being guided to move into retreat and maybe even travel to some sort of place where you can move into retreat. Whether the traveling is actually physical, you actually travel somewhere else to go into retreat where you can restore your sense of self and the connection to yourself and restore and nourish yourself. That could be one way, actually physically traveling, or just traveling within yourself, just turning within yourself into meditation. So this would be like a spiritual travel within, and then finding a place of retreat. So you're being guided, or we are being guided to move into retreat here. And when we do that, we are going to be able to establish the new, because we are stepping into establishing the new here. Definitely. We are on the home stretch here, okay? And we got the underlying energy here with the first hexagram in the I Ching, and that's initiating. And in order to be able to initiate to establish something new, we need to initiate it. There's the initial spark, and the initial spark is already within you. It's already happening. Okay, so the next step will be to establish the new. But the warning here is there are still negative influences in the situation that you are in now. So keep staying disconnected to this, because there is no point of being connected to this. Although you feel like you're the one who's withdrawing, or maybe you could even be that you are being, being blamed for things that you are not responsible for, that other people are responsible for, but the burden has been put on you, and then you are withdrawing from this more and more, and then it looks even more like you're to blame. But no, let go of that thought, because you are not, okay? You are not to blame. Be blamed for other people's actions. And withdrawing from this toxicity is a way to protect yourself, okay? So this is the guidance for the present moment. I'd like to have a look a little bit more on traveling there, and see what it has got to add. Yes, so traveling speaks about, if you look at this image here, it's about speaking about warriors dancing before going into war. And this is speaking about us actually fighting or chasing away the negative influences, right? So the traveling, it's like, it's with the warrior scene here, it's like being a warrior and then actually actively getting rid of the negative influences and then traveling away from that. But traveling is also saying that we must remain steadfast and upright, because during travel and when there's a big transition in life, things becomes a bit unstable and more difficult. So we're being guided to trust in ourselves and trust in the situation, and knowing what we are moving towards are the correct route, and what we are doing currently is the correct, although it might feel a bit unstable, which it always does when we are establishing the new. So the guidance is to go into retreat here, finding peace within, so we can remain steadfast and upright, so remain truthfully us and remain true to our soul's purpose and what our heart is calling for us to do, and not waver in this, and don't become fearful and not moving forward, because this moving forward here is about leaving something that is not beneficial behind, something that belongs to the past, something that does not belong to the present moment and your future. Okay. And if we're looking at the, we've got lots of metal to fire. Metal is about cutting away the old, clearing way for the new. It's about seeing more clearly. It's like a metal is like a sharp axe that cuts away, and then we just leave that behind. And also with the clarity we get from the just having the fresh, the new here, and then also the blade of an axe is really shiny, and it like brings clarity to any situation. And fire, establishing the new and traveling. Fire is this initial spark. Fire is, although metal is related to Qian here, it's about cutting and then beginning, but it's also the initial spark is fire, right? The initial spark is like in a car, we have the spark plug it's actually a spark that ignites the the petrol and then starts the engine running, right? And that's like a spark, and that's the fire within. And Qian here, initiating, is also a very creative power, and creation, it would need the heart fire in order to be able to create. So in order to, because we don't want to bring this disconnect that we feel with the situation we don't want to bring it forward into our new life. This is where we need to move into retreat and cut away all this, and then reignite our heart fire here in order to be able to nourish like Qian is the first, is initiating, is the initial spark. But the second hexagram is Kun, which is responding. And responding is the earth energy. And it's about nourishing this idea or this initial spark. So first we have the idea, we have this creative source, and then we need to nourish it as well. And in order to nourish it, we need this fire burning within us and this belief in ourselves that this is the correct way, and then feeling this joy and regaining this joy of creation and for this new path. Okay. And if we look at the hexagram, we've got lots of this initiating power. We've got 4 here. The hidden, it's all initiation. Okay, it's already there. It's already happening. Trust that. But then also without here in the present moment is the initiating power. And also the future potential here has the initiating power. We also have Li, which is fire. And that's about allowing us to see clearly the path forward, and also having this heart fire that will fuel our path forward in this movement forward that we are doing, that we are moving into, this establishing the new, this new that we are moving into, that we already are in, that's already been initiated. And we got this wind here, the gentle movement of the wind, which is action, but it's a gentle, slow action. It's a penetrating. So wind and wood are the same. It's got the same sort of movement, like a tree that grows slowly, but it's growing up, but it becomes strong with deep roots if we're allowing it to grow in its own time. right? But we got the stillness of the mountain within as well. And that's speaking about this retreat. We need to regain this stillness within, this trust within, and moving into retreat, creating stillness within that would then become the stillness without. So the movement that we are gathering, the movement that is gathering, it comes from stillness, okay? And that's become a stable movement that is, sometimes it looks like it's going very slow, but slow movement is usually it looks deceptive that we're not moving forward, but it's actually many times actually the best type of movement, because it gives us time to reflect on our next steps, and then the next step we take will be more accurate than when we just throw ourselves into something that we're not thought through at all. Okay, so in the long run, this will bring a much more stable way forward, where we can create something very, very beautiful that is long sustaining, that we bring with us for many years to come, and we'll be able to build something beautiful that we can share with the world, something that is totally aligned with our inner soul. So that's the reading for today. I hope it was a benefit to you, and I'm wishing you a beautiful day ahead.